How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
Beneath the manicured gardens of Queen Camilla's private American estate, FBI agents have uncovered something that has left investigators speechless. What began as a routine inspection quickly turned into one of the most baffling discoveries in recent memory. As teams of specialists work around the clock to document what lies beneath the royal retreat, insiders claim the findings could rewrite history as we know it. What secret has been hiding under royal feet all these years? A discovery so unexpected, so contrary to the monarchy's public image, that officials on both sides of the Atlantic are scrambling to contain the information. Stay tuned, because what they found will leave you stunned. The unexpected search. When FBI agents arrived at the secluded Virginia estate quietly purchased by Queen Camilla years before her marriage to King Charles, they expected nothing more than a perfunctory inspection. The property, nestled in horse country outside Middleburg, had remained largely unknown to the public. A private retreat where Camilla could escape the pressures of royal life during occasional visits to America. That changed when agents noticed significant discrepancies in the property's architectural plans. The exterior measurements and interior spaces didn't match, with approximately 1,200 square feet unaccounted for. Using ground-penetrating radar, they identified an anomaly beneath the east wing, a space appearing on no blueprints yet showing signs of recent activity through electrical signals and thermal patterns. In the wood-paneled study, with its carefully curated equestrian art and first edition books, agents discovered a section of hardwood flooring that produced a subtly different sound when walked upon. Behind custom millwork along the eastern wall, they found a sophisticated electronic locking mechanism hidden behind an antique riding trophy. Not standard security for a wine cellar, but cutting-edge technology typically reserved for government installations. With technical specialists bypassing the security measures, the FBI contacted State Department officials, who made discreet inquiries through diplomatic channels. The response from London was unexpected. Silence, followed by an urgent request from British intelligence for all operations at the property to cease immediately. This request, coming through unofficial back channels rather than formal diplomatic communications, only intensified the Bureau's determination. With proper warrants secured, the FBI team proceeded despite British objections. When the hidden entrance finally yielded, a hydraulic platform disguised as part of the study floor descended smoothly into darkness, revealing not a simple basement, but the beginning of a sophisticated underground complex. It was immediately clear this wasn't some recent addition, said our source. The initial construction appeared decades old, though modernized repeatedly. This wasn't Camilla's creation. She had inherited something much older, something that predated her ownership entirely. The underground complex. The tunnel's air was surprisingly fresh, circulated by a ventilation system disguised within the mansion's conventional infrastructure. Walls were lined not with rough stone, but with sophisticated composite materials designed to resist both electronic surveillance and structural analysis from above. The first chamber appeared to be a communication center containing technology that had been regularly updated. Multiple computer terminals with advanced encryption capabilities, satellite communication systems independent of commercial networks, and a dedicated power supply with backup generators. Most puzzling was a sophisticated radio system operating on frequencies typically reserved for diplomatic and military communications. According to sources, this system was still active when discovered, with logs indicating use within the previous week, when Queen Camilla was thousands of miles away in England. Beyond the communications center, agents discovered interconnected chambers extending far beyond the mansion's footprint. The most substantial space resembled an intelligence analysis center with climate-controlled storage units containing thousands of documents organized in an unfamiliar cataloging system. Many documents bore classification markings from both British and American intelligence services, markings indicating content so sensitive that even their existence wasn't supposed to be acknowledged. These weren't just historical curiosities, explained our source. Many files contained material dated within the last 5 years, analyses of current political situations, profiles of active government officials, assessments of ongoing international negotiations. This was a working intelligence facility, not a historical archive. Adjacent to the archive was a sophisticated laboratory containing equipment for document creation and authentication. Specialized printers capable of reproducing security features found in official documents, materials for creating various forms of identification, and equipment for analyzing and replicating signatures and official seals. The final chamber deepened the mystery considerably. Unlike the utilitarian design of other spaces, this room was appointed like a private study or meeting area, with fine wooden furnishings, carefully selected art, and a conference table for approximately 12 people. A detailed map mounted on one wall showed not conventional geography, but connections between various political, financial, and media entities across multiple countries. Certain individuals and organizations were highlighted with coded annotations that investigators couldn't immediately decipher. As the FBI expanded their search, they discovered evidence that the underground facility connected to a tunnel system extending beyond the property boundaries. Sophisticated airlock-style doors indicated expansion points that had been carefully sealed, suggesting the complex might once have been part of a larger network. Historical connections. Researchers examining the property's history discovered it had never appeared on public real estate listings. For decades, it had changed hands through private transactions between entities that connected to various front companies and trust arrangements. Before Camilla acquired it through a Wyoming-based LLC, it had been held by a succession of similarly opaque ownership structures. Despite changes in nominal ownership, the property had maintained consistent patterns of occupation and resource usage for over 50 years, suggesting continuity of purpose regardless of who technically held the deed. Historical satellite imagery from the 1960s showed unusual construction activity, large-scale excavation, followed by the building of the current mansion. This timeline placed the underground facility's likely construction during the height of the Cold War. Records from county archives revealed another critical detail. During the same period of initial construction, surrounding parcels had been purchased by individuals with documented connections to British intelligence services. Though these adjacent properties had since been sold to unrelated owners, this pattern suggested a deliberate effort to create a secure perimeter during the facility's establishment. The most compelling connection emerged through architectural analysis. The design principles bore striking similarities to certain British facilities constructed during the late 1950s under a classified program known as Continuation of Government, a Cold War initiative to ensure survival of key government functions in case of nuclear attack. This wasn't just any bunker, our source noted. This appears to have been a facility with official sanction and purpose, something that would have required approval at the highest levels of government. This historical context raised profound questions about Queen Camilla's relationship to the property. Had she purchased it knowing about the underground facility? Was her ownership part of a continued operation, or had she been placed there as a respectable owner to maintain the property's low profile? Royal connections. As the investigation expanded, agents documented patterns of visitation over the years. While Queen Camilla's occasional use of the estate was known through standard diplomatic notifications, visitor logs from nearby private airfields and border entry records revealed something more intriguing. Frequent visits by individuals traveling on diplomatic passports who never officially registered their presence. These weren't casual social visitors, our source explained. The pattern showed regular rotations of personnel consistent with operational relief cycles. Individuals arriving, staying approximately 3 months, then being replaced by others. These rotational visits continued during periods when the property was supposedly unoccupied, including times when Queen Camilla was performing royal duties in the United Kingdom. When specialists analyzed the encrypted traffic patterns from the facility's satellite systems, they identified regular connections to specific nodes associated with GCHQ, Britain's Signals Intelligence Agency, and certain secure servers within Buckingham Palace's own communications infrastructure. Financial records added another layer to the mystery. The property's maintenance expenses, utility costs, and renovations had been funded through offshore accounts that connected to financial structures historically used for certain classified operations conducted with joint US-UK approval during the Cold War. Perhaps most significantly, agents discovered a secure safe containing handwritten journals. While much of the content was encoded, analysts identified entries in multiple handwritings spanning decades, including passages that preliminary analysis suggested might match Camilla's own handwriting. These journals appear to document meetings, decisions, and operational directions dating back to the 1970s, our source revealed. If authenticated, they would establish direct knowledge and involvement by a succession of individuals, potentially including current members of the royal household. International implications. The discovery quickly escalated beyond an FBI matter, drawing attention from multiple American intelligence agencies and the State Department. The potential diplomatic implications were enormous. A foreign intelligence installation operating on American soil, potentially with royal knowledge or involvement, raised questions about the special relationship between the United States and United Kingdom. Initial diplomatic inquiries through official channels were met with what sources describe as structured ambiguity, responses that neither confirmed nor denied knowledge of the facility, while emphasizing the importance of handling any findings with appropriate discretion. Within days, specialized teams from both British intelligence and Buckingham Palace security arrived in Virginia, requesting joint access alongside American investigators. This unusual arrangement, allowing foreign nationals to participate in an FBI investigation on American soil, underscored the exceptional nature of the situation. This wasn't just diplomatic courtesy, noted our source. The legal authorization for this joint approach came from the highest levels of both governments, suggesting pre-existing protocols for handling this specific type of discovery. As the joint teams processed the facility's contents, certain documents were immediately secured in diplomatic pouches and removed after being briefly shown to American counterparts. Technical specialists from both countries worked to secure the communication systems and determine exactly what information had been transmitted and to whom. Most telling was the reaction when agents broached the subject of potential media interest. Rather than standard protocols for managing public information, both American and British officials immediately invoked national security classifications that would prevent any public acknowledgement of the facility's existence. The involvement of current White House officials and direct communication between the American president and British Prime Minister indicated that whatever lay beneath Queen Camilla's Virginia retreat touched on matters far beyond a historical curiosity or embarrassing royal secret.
Prince Harry's revealing interview on 60 Minutes about his upcoming book, Spare. Harry spoke with Anderson Cooper about the emotional trauma following his mother's death and accused Camilla.
Freedom of speech only matters when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning. Today, Prince Harry now asking a federal judge, "It is getting spicy now, Steve." Yeah, Carl, spicy to say the least with Harry ramping up this lawsuit. I go home to my life and take care of my corgis and do all the stuff I'm supposed to. I don't know what else to say, but it is, and I'm just looking at this video and it's so bizarre. She's gone. No goodbye, no apology, not even a closing statement from Buckingham Palace. Queen Camilla has fled the country, and the timing couldn't be more suspicious. Why? Because Prince Harry just filed a jaw-dropping $120 million lawsuit against her and the MI6. Oh, and the FBI's now involved, reportedly issuing a formal warrant that could turn this royal drama into an international federal case. Just when you thought 2025 couldn't deliver more royal chaos, this bombshell drops. So what exactly did Camilla say that triggered this legal firestorm? Why is she suddenly off the radar, hopping borders like she's dodging paparazzi and prosecutors alike? And what happens next for the British monarchy? Because this isn't just about defamation anymore. This could redefine what royal figures can and cannot say on international television. Wait a second. Like, come on, man. This is too... Stick around. The plot is as thick as Camilla's legal file. But first, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss a single update in this wild real-life royal soap opera. Did you just subscribe? Awesome, let's get into it. It started like any other dramatic day on Royal Roundtable. Look, this show has allowed all kinds of people to come on. People we agree with, people we don't agree with. I've not been a fan of this man's. I don't like how he talks to us. I don't like how he talks. Camilla, sitting center stage with that trademark royal smirk, launched into one of her infamous tirades. This time, she suggested that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were plotting to seize control of the monarchy if King Charles stepped down. Yeah, she really said that on international television with zero evidence, just vibes and volume. Who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while. Yes, you have. I've been saying that I think Prince Harry believes he's the rightful king. I do. Well, you can call him Vice Royal. I called him viceroyal. I called him king because I don't know what Meghan is doing. I hardly ever... I don't remember the last time we even talked about Meghan. You're right. He's planning the monarchy when they get rid of Charles. So you think it's Harry Markle possible? Hey, you know who? Stay away from the palace staircases, because you know people put the leg out to trip you going down the stairs. But this time, she crossed a line. Prince Harry didn't laugh it off. He didn't tweet a sarcastic meme. He lawyered up and hit her with a $120 million defamation suit that accuses Camilla and Royal Roundtable of spreading intentional misinformation and endangering his reputation and safety. His legal team didn't mince words. The lawsuit points to reckless broadcasting, malicious defamation, and deliberate mischaracterization of intent. Translation: she tried to drag Harry's name through the mud, and now he's making her pay for it. Literally. And as if that wasn't explosive enough, the FBI started sniffing around. You heard that right? According to insiders close to the investigation, the FBI reportedly began probing whether Camilla's on-air comments could be interpreted as inciting unrest or suggesting potential harm toward the California-based royals. Remember when she jokingly referenced someone getting tripped down the stairs? Yeah. Jokes like that don't age well in a courtroom, especially when you say them to millions of people while implying royal conspiracy. Federal authorities are reportedly reviewing transcripts, broadcast footage, and social media blowback to determine whether Camilla's words crossed into legal territory beyond defamation, something more serious. And guess what? As soon as that news broke, Camilla vanished. I don't believe in cancel culture. I like the phrase that my friend William uses: we need council culture. You know, in the royal faith, we have a concept called majesty, and majesty means redemption. It means all of us have the power to admit when we do wrong and to commit to doing. No one saw it coming. One day she's at the table on Royal Roundtable, and the next, gone. No scheduled leave, no official statement, not even a remote appearance. According to sources close to the palace, Queen Camilla abruptly left the United Kingdom just days after news of the FBI's involvement went public. And this wasn't some vacation. Insiders say she felt cornered, overwhelmed, and unprepared for the legal war she had just walked into. Harry's lawsuit, the media backlash, the FBI sniffing around. It was all too much, so she left. Some say she's in Switzerland. Others say she's gone completely off the grid at a secret royal hideaway in Scotland. What's clear? Her absence has sparked panic within Buckingham Palace and left the future of the monarchy hanging by a thread. And social media? Oh, it's on fire. As news broke of Camilla's sudden departure, hashtags started trending instantly. Cancel Camilla. Support Harry. Queen flees. One viral tweet read, "If you didn't do anything wrong, why are you running?" Another said, "You mocked Diana's memory. You suggested a coup. You joked about tripping Harry, and now you're shocked there are consequences." Critics are calling her escape an admission of guilt. Supporters of Harry argue that Camilla has finally been forced to reckon with the consequences of reckless royal commentary. But others? They think this could get even worse. It's our friend Harry. That's right. Queen Camilla gives you a big hug and a kiss. King Charles gives you a big hug. Princess Anne gives you a big hug. They all loved you, honey. Joe, I think you missed this part. Take a look. I want him to show his birth certificate. There's something on that birth certificate that he doesn't like. I'm telling you, I love you. I'm telling you, I love you too. I think that's the biggest pile of royal mess I've heard in ages. Buckingham Palace is reportedly in full-on crisis mode. Sources say that top royal advisors are considering everything from indefinite banishment to permanent removal of titles because, let's be honest, this isn't the first time Royal Roundtable has been in hot water. But it might be the first time their biggest royal literally fled the country during a federal investigation. Corporate sponsors are backing away. Royal watchers are divided. The palace is scrambling. Some insiders claim the royal family's legal team is now trying to negotiate a behind-the-scenes settlement with Harry's camp to make this all go away. But with the FBI involved, that might not be possible. I'm in favor of freedom of speech, and freedom of speech only is relevant when people you don't like say things you don't like. Otherwise, it has no meaning. Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. And if at the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back. I think the issue some people have is that a lot of people were brought back. I mean, some people were brought back who were previously banned for spreading things like QAnon conspiracies. You have people like Andrew who were brought back who were previously... You accept that misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real-world harms, that it can potentially cause... Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has at times published things that are false. Do you agree that that has occurred? I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true. This isn't just another royal scandal. This is a showdown between one of the world's most controversial princes and the Queen Consort herself. It's about misinformation, accountability, and whether royal figures should be allowed to operate without consequences. Whether Camilla returns or not, this moment has already changed the game. She went too far, Harry pushed back, and now the justice system and the public are watching every move. Will the monarchy survive? Will the lawsuit escalate? And will Camilla be forced to return and face the heat or stay gone for good? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and don't miss what happens next in this unraveling royal circus, because this isn't just gossip. This is history in the making.
It was going to cause more harm than good.
The feud within the royal family has reached a boiling point. Prince Harry and Prince William are no longer holding back as they reportedly make their ultimate move against Queen Camilla. Accused of betrayal, manipulation, and leaking royal secrets to the press, Camilla's actions have left the nation stunned. The rift between the brothers and their stepmother has only grown deeper, and what the princes did next is sending shockwaves across the monarchy. Is this the beginning of the end for Queen Camilla?
What made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
Prince Harry accuses Queen Camilla of manipulating the media. Prince Harry has never shied away from speaking his mind, and his latest accusations against Queen Camilla have sent shockwaves through the royal family and the public. In a series of interviews in his explosive memoir Spare, Harry described Camilla as dangerous, accusing her of manipulating the media to repair her public reputation. According to Harry, Camilla traded private information about the royal family with the British press in exchange for favorable coverage, a move he claims came at the expense of others, including himself and Prince William. Harry alleges that Camilla's efforts to rehabilitate her image began after she was widely viewed as the villain in the love triangle between her, King Charles, and Princess Diana. Following Diana's death, Camilla worked tirelessly to gain public approval, eventually becoming Queen Consort. However, Harry claims this transformation was achieved through a calculated campaign of leaks to the media, portraying her in a positive light while damaging the reputation of others in the royal household. One of Harry's most shocking claims is that Camilla's PR team leaked stories about his own struggles, including his use of drugs, to distract the press and shift attention away from her controversial past. He described this as a barter deal with the media, where Camilla provided inside information in exchange for glowing headlines. Harry even suggested that Camilla's actions left bodies in the street, referring to the damage done to family members' reputations. The tension between Harry, William, and Camilla dates back decades. Both brothers opposed their father's marriage to Camilla in 2005, believing it was inappropriate for the woman they blamed for the breakdown of their parents' marriage to become their stepmother. While they publicly wished their father well, behind the scenes, resentment lingered. Harry's accusations have reignited that animosity, making it clear that the wounds of the past have not healed. Despite these claims, Camilla has remained silent, with supporters pointing out her years of dedication to charitable work and the late Queen Elizabeth's endorsement of her as Queen Consort. However, Harry's accusations have painted a darker picture of her rise to power, leaving the nation divided. Is Camilla the manipulative figure Harry describes, or a misunderstood woman navigating a complex royal life? Harry and William opposed their father, marrying Camilla. The royal family has always been surrounded by drama, but few moments have been as controversial as King Charles's marriage to Camilla in 2005. While the public was divided over the union, Prince Harry and Prince William were firmly against it. The two brothers, still grieving the loss of their mother, Princess Diana, saw Camilla as the woman who had played a key role in the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Their opposition to the marriage was both personal and emotional. For years, Charles and Camilla had been romantically involved, even during Charles's marriage to Diana. Diana famously revealed the affair in her explosive 1995 interview, stating, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This betrayal left a lasting impact on her sons, who harbored deep resentment toward Camilla as the other woman. When Charles announced his plans to marry Camilla, Harry and William reportedly begged their father not to go through with it. In his memoir Spare, Harry opened up about this difficult time. He described how he and William pleaded with their father to reconsider, arguing that the marriage would only bring more pain and controversy. However, Charles was determined to marry the woman he loved. Feeling defeated, the brothers eventually gave him their blessing, shook his hand, and assured him there were no hard feelings. But behind the scenes, the resentment lingered. Harry and William's disapproval stemmed not just from Camilla's role in their parents' failed marriage, but also from their fears about what her presence in the royal family would mean. Harry, in particular, admitted that the worried Camilla might become a wicked stepmother, like in the fairy tales he read as a child. He also accused her of being manipulative and using her relationship with the press to improve her public image, often at the expense of others in the royal family. Even after the marriage, the relationship between Camilla and the brothers remained frosty. Their interactions were polite but distant, with no warmth or genuine connection. The scars from the past were too deep to heal. To this day, Harry and William's opposition to their father's marriage to Camilla remains one of the most talked about chapters in royal history. Camilla's alleged role in leaking stories about the royal family. The royal family has always been surrounded by whispers, but Prince Harry's claims about Queen Camilla have ignited a firestorm of controversy. According to Harry, Camilla allegedly leaked private information about royal family members to the media as part of a calculated plan to rebuild her public image. In his memoir, Spare, and various interviews, Harry paints a picture of a woman who was willing to sacrifice others, including her stepsons Harry and William, to secure her place in the royal hierarchy. Harry alleges that Camilla entered into a barter agreement with the British press, exchanging sensitive royal details for positive coverage of herself. This, he claims, was part of a long-term strategy to repair her reputation after being labeled the villain in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Harry described her as dangerous in an interview, suggesting that her close ties with the media made her a threat to anyone who stood in her way. Perhaps the most shocking of Harry's accusations is that Camilla's PR team leaked damaging stories about him and William to shift negative attention away from herself. Harry believes that details about his experimentation with drugs and other personal struggles were deliberately fed to the press to clean up Camilla's image. In his words, there were bodies left in the street as a result of her attempts to secure favorable headlines. The tension between Harry, William, and Camilla has long been a topic of speculation, but Harry's revelations have given the public an unprecedented look behind palace walls. Both brothers reportedly opposed their father's marriage to Camilla in 2005, fearing her influence in the royal family. While they eventually appeared to accept her publicly, Harry's accusations suggest that resentment has simmered beneath the surface for years. Camilla, for her part, has remained silent on the allegations, but royal insiders have defended her, pointing to her years of charitable work and her close relationship with King Charles. Even the late Queen Elizabeth publicly endorsed her as Queen Consort, praising her dedication to the monarchy. Despite this, Harry's claims have left the public divided. Is Camilla a cunning figure who manipulated the press at the expense of others? Or is she a misunderstood woman navigating the complexities of royal life? One thing is clear, the drama within the royal family is far from over. Strained relationship between Camilla and her stepson princes. The relationship between Queen Camilla and her stepsons, Prince William and Prince Harry, has long been a source of tension within the royal family. Despite public appearances of unity, insiders reveal that the bond between them has always been strained, rooted in the bitter history of their parents' marriage and Camilla's role in their father's life. For William and Harry, Camilla was not just their father's new wife. She was the woman widely seen as the third person in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Diana's famous comment, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," left no doubt in the public's mind about Camilla's involvement. This perception deeply impacted the young princes, who grew up watching their mother's heartbreak unfold before the world. When Charles announced his plan to marry Camilla in 2005, both brothers were reportedly unhappy. Harry later admitted in his memoir Spare that he and William had asked their father not to marry her, fearing it would only bring more pain and controversy. However, Charles was determined, and the princes eventually gave their reluctant approval, shaking his hand and wishing him well. Despite this, insiders say the resentment lingered, especially for Harry. Attempts to bridge the gap between Camilla and her stepsons have reportedly been unsuccessful. Interactions between them are described as polite but distant, with no genuine warmth. Royal events often highlight this tension, as Harry and William are said to maintain a careful distance from their stepmother. Camilla, aware of their feelings, has reportedly accepted her position as an outsider in their eyes. Harry has been particularly vocal about his feelings toward Camilla, accusing her of leaking private family details to the press to rehabilitate her public image. In interviews and his memoir, he called her dangerous and claimed she sacrificed others, including him and William, to improve her standing with the media. William, though less outspoken, is believed to share similar sentiments, holding on to loyalty to their late mother, Princess Diana. The strained relationship between Camilla and her stepsons is a painful reminder of the complexities within the royal family. While public smiles and handshakes suggest unity, the emotional scars left by the past seem far from healed, leaving Camilla's bond with William and Harry forever fractured. Camilla's influence on King Charles and royal affairs. Queen Camilla's rise to power within the royal family has been surrounded by controversy, with many insiders claiming her influence over King Charles has grown significantly since their marriage. While Camilla is often portrayed as a supportive partner, critics, including Prince Harry, have accused her of being the real power behind the throne, using her position to shape royal decisions and dynamics in her favor. But how much influence does Camilla truly have, and how has it affected the royal family? Camilla's journey into the royal spotlight was never smooth. After being blamed for the breakdown of King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage, she worked hard to rebuild her public image. Her efforts eventually earned her the title of Queen Consort, but Harry and William reportedly viewed her growing influence with suspicion. Harry, in particular, accused her of sacrificing others on her PR altar, claiming she used the media to strengthen her position, sometimes at the expense of other family members. One of the most contentious points is Camilla's alleged role in shaping how Charles interacts with his children. Insiders suggest that Camilla has played a significant part in discouraging King Charles from reconciling with Harry following his departure from royal duties in 2020. Reports claim she has taken a firm stance against Harry and Meghan's potential return to the royal fold, even going so far as to block Harry from visiting his father without prior notice. This has reportedly caused tension between Camilla and King Charles, who is said to be open to mending his relationship with his sons, but only on his own terms. Camilla's growing influence extends beyond family disputes. She is believed to have a strong hand in Charles's public and private affairs, often guiding his decisions. For example, when Charles publicly revealed his health issues earlier this year, Camilla was reportedly against the announcement, preferring to keep such matters private. However, Charles overruled her, reportedly after being encouraged by William and Harry to set an example for the public. Despite these claims, Camilla has also been credited with bringing stability to Charles's life and supporting his duties as monarch. But her influence remains a divisive topic. Is she a guiding force helping Charles navigate his role, or is she using her position to consolidate power within the palace? The debate continues, with Camilla's role in royal affairs sparking controversy both inside and outside the monarchy. King Charles caught between his wife and sons. King Charles finds himself in an unenviable position, trapped between the growing tension of his wife, Queen Camilla, and his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. What should have been a time of unity for the royal family has instead become a battlefield, with Charles struggling to maintain peace while navigating one of the most complicated family rifts in modern royal history. The source of the tension largely revolves around Charles's marriage to Camilla. For years, both William and Harry harbored resentment toward their stepmother, whom they saw as the woman who played a key role in the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Diana's infamous 1995 interview, in which she declared, "There were three of us in this marriage," cemented Camilla's image as the other woman. While Charles ultimately married Camilla in 2005, neither William nor Harry ever fully accepted her as part of the family. Behind closed doors, the tension has reportedly only worsened over the years. Harry, in particular, has been vocal about his disdain for Camilla, accusing her of manipulating the media to rehabilitate her image. In his memoir Spare, Harry claimed that Camilla's relationship with the press came at the expense of other family members, including himself and William. He even went so far as to call her dangerous in interviews, citing her alleged willingness to sacrifice others for favorable headlines. As king, Charles is now caught in the middle of this feud. Reports suggest that he has tried to act as a mediator between his sons and his wife, but his efforts have been met with resistance. Camilla has reportedly taken a tough stance against Harry, particularly after his public attacks on her character. Some insiders claim she has even blocked Harry from visiting his father without prior notice, further complicating any efforts at reconciliation. Meanwhile, Charles is said to be open to repairing his relationship with Harry, but only on his own terms. However, this puts him at odds with Camilla, who reportedly believes the king has no reason to feel guilty or reach out to Harry and Meghan. The ongoing feud has left Charles in an impossible position, torn between loyalty to his sons and his devotion to his wife. As the tension continues to escalate, the question remains, can Charles ever bring peace to his fractured family, or will the divide grow even deeper? Harry's memoir, Spare, and additional criticisms of Camilla. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has taken the world by storm, offering a raw and unfiltered look into his life as a royal and the struggles he faced growing up in the public eye. However, one of the most explosive aspects of the book is Harry's pointed criticisms of Queen Camilla. His revelations have not only shocked royal watchers, but have also reignited the long-standing tension within the royal family. In Spare, Harry holds nothing back when discussing his feelings about Camilla, whom he refers to as dangerous. He accuses her of manipulating the media to shape her public image while sacrificing the reputations of others, particularly his and his brother William's. This characterization paints a picture of a woman willing to go to great lengths to secure her position as queen consort, even at the expense of her stepsons. Harry claims that Camilla's close relationship with the press allowed her to leak damaging stories about him and William, using their struggles to distract from her own controversial past. Harry's portrayal of Camilla is particularly striking because it reveals the deep emotional scars left by their mother, Princess Diana's tragic death. He suggests that Camilla represents everything that went wrong in their family, positioning her as a symbol of betrayal and heartbreak. The prince's memories of his mother's suffering at the hands of the royal family only amplify his criticisms of Camilla, making it clear that these feelings run deep. As the public reaction to Spare unfolds, many are left wondering how Camilla will respond to Harry's accusations. While she has remained mostly silent, royal insiders are reportedly braced for potential fallout. The divide between the brothers and their stepmother has only widened, raising questions about the future dynamics within the royal family. Additionally, Harry's criticisms have sparked conversations about the broader implications of Camilla's role in the monarchy. Are her actions as manipulative as Harry suggests, or is she simply a woman trying to navigate the complexities of royal life? As the debate rages on, it's clear that Spare has opened old wounds and reignited a debate that many thought was settled long ago. Harry's desire to reintegrate into the royal family. Prince Harry's journey away from royal life has been filled with drama and heartache, but recent reports suggest he may be yearning to find his way back into the fold. After stepping back from royal duties in 2020 and moving to the United States, Harry's relationship with his family has been strained, particularly with his father, King Charles, and his stepmother, Queen Camilla. However, whispers of Harry's desire to reintegrate into the royal family have sparked hope among royal watchers and fans alike. The turning point for Harry seems to have come after the birth of his two children, Archie and Lilibet. As a father, Harry has expressed a desire for his children to connect with their royal roots. He often reflects on his childhood memories of family gatherings, royal events, and the importance of tradition. In interviews, he has mentioned wanting his children to have a sense of belonging within the royal family, which has made him reconsider his decision to distance himself. Harry's recent public appearances have also hinted at his desire for reconciliation. During a visit to the UK for various events, including the unveiling of a statue of his mother, Princess Diana, Harry appeared more open and willing to engage with his family. Reports suggest he has reached out to old friends and aides, seeking to rebuild bridges that had been burnt over the past few years. His willingness to be back in the UK, despite the media's scrutiny, indicates a strong desire to reconnect. However, the path to reintegration is fraught with challenges. The ongoing tensions with Camilla remain a significant hurdle. Harry's criticisms of her in his memoir, Spare, have not gone unnoticed, making it difficult for him to find common ground with her. Additionally, William has also been hesitant, still holding on to the wounds from the past. Family dynamics are complicated, and the brothers' relationship needs healing before any real reconciliation can happen. Despite these challenges, Harry has shown signs of hope. He has expressed a desire for honest conversations with his family, emphasizing the importance of understanding and healing. The royal family, often seen as a fortress of tradition, now faces the challenge of adapting to a new era where communication and openness could bridge the gap. Future tensions, lawsuits, and the paperback release of Spare. Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has already made waves with its explosive revelations, but the upcoming paperback release is set to reignite tensions within the royal family and possibly lead to more legal battles. As the world eagerly anticipates the new edition, which promises additional content and insights, questions loom about how it will impact Harry's already strained relationships with his family, particularly with King Charles and Prince William. The paperback version of Spare is rumored to include new chapters that delve deeper into Harry's experiences and emotions since the original release. This fresh content may shed light on ongoing conflicts, including his complicated relationship with Queen Camilla and the fallout from his decisions to step back from royal duties. With the royal family still reeling from the initial accusations and revelations, the prospect of further details being shared in print is causing anxiety among palace insiders. One of the most pressing concerns is the potential for lawsuits. Following the original release of Spare, there were murmurs that some members of the royal family were considering legal action over the memoir's content. As Harry prepares to unveil more personal stories, the likelihood of legal disputes increases. Royal experts suggest that if Harry continues to make accusations against Camilla or shares sensitive information about family matters, it could push Charles and William to take a stand in court. Moreover, the book's revelations have already strained relationships to the breaking point. The already rocky dynamic between Harry and his family has been exacerbated by his candid critiques of Camilla and his portrayal of his upbringing. The potential for fresh revelations in the paperback adds a layer of uncertainty, as it could lead to more public feuds and further divide the family. As the publication date approaches, the world watches with bated breath. Will Harry's revelations bring about more tension and lawsuits, or could they help pave the way for understanding and healing? The future of the royal family hangs in the balance, and the paperback release of Spare may just be the catalyst that determines their fate. Only time will tell how this chapter of royal history unfolds.
I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except them.
In a shocking development that has sent tremors through Buckingham Palace, Laura Lopes, daughter of Queen Camilla, has been sentenced in a case shrouded in extraordinary secrecy. The ruling, delivered behind closed doors and absent from public court records, has resulted in her immediate removal from British soil. Palace officials have gone to unprecedented lengths to suppress details of the case, but our sources have uncovered disturbing information about what really happened. What could the Queen's daughter have done to receive such a severe sentence? And why is the royal family desperate to keep it hidden? Stay tuned, because this revelation changes everything we thought we knew about the House of Windsor. The secret hearing. On a grey Monday morning, Laura Lopes arrived at an unmarked government building in central London. Unlike the high-profile court appearances of other public figures, there were no press photographers, no waiting crowds, just an ordinary-looking entrance guarded by unusually alert security personnel. Dressed conservatively and escorted by individuals who carried no official identification, Laura was ushered through a private entrance and disappeared from public view. Inside waited what one source described as a court that doesn't officially exist. No public gallery, no court reporters, no ordinary legal procedures. The small, austere room contained only essential personnel: a judge with specialized security clearance, prosecutors with intelligence backgrounds rather than typical Crown Prosecution Service credentials, and a defense team bound by confidentiality agreements so restrictive that breaking them would constitute treason. This wasn't justice as the public understands it, revealed a source with connections to royal security protocols. This was crisis management disguised as legal proceedings. The charges against Laura, while never formally made public, centered around unauthorized access to classified royal archives, specifically, documents the monarchy had spent decades keeping from public view. According to our sources, Laura had spent years quietly collecting information that posed an existential threat to the modern monarchy's carefully crafted image. She began with simple curiosity about family history, explained someone formerly connected to Laura's household. But what she discovered led her down a path that eventually crossed lines the institution couldn't tolerate. The most sensitive materials allegedly included documents related to royal financial arrangements with foreign governments, private correspondence revealing senior royals' unfiltered opinions on political matters, and most explosively, records contradicting official narratives about key historical events involving the monarchy. During the 6-hour proceeding, Laura reportedly remained composed, speaking only when directly addressed by the judge. Unlike criminal defendants who might plead for leniency or claim mitigating circumstances, she offered no defense beyond acknowledging her actions. Those present described her demeanor not as defeated but resolute, the bearing of someone who had made peace with the consequences of a deliberate choice. The sentence, when delivered, was unprecedented for a person of her status. While not termed imprisonment in any conventional sense, the ruling mandated her immediate relocation to an undisclosed secure facility outside British territory, where she would remain indefinitely without access to communication devices, internet, or unapproved visitors. The official terminology, protective isolation for reasons of national security, barely disguised the reality: permanent exile designed to ensure her silence. As Laura was escorted from the room through a secure exit, she reportedly turned to a senior royal official present and spoke 7 words that have haunted palace corridors since. the truth finds its way. Always. Within hours, she had been removed from British soil via military transport, her destination known only to a handful of officials with the highest security clearances. The cover-up operation. The palace's public statement, issued the following day, made no mention of any legal proceedings. It simply announced that Laura Lopes would be residing abroad indefinitely for personal reasons and requested privacy. The brevity and vagueness only fueled speculation among those who monitor royal activities closely. Behind the scenes, an elaborate operation was already underway. Teams with specialized training in evidence recovery descended on properties connected to Laura, her family home, office spaces, storage facilities, even locations registered under names not publicly associated with her. Computers were seized, documents confiscated, and storage devices removed. But the operation went far beyond simple evidence gathering. They weren't just collecting materials, revealed a source familiar with the security response. They were eliminating all trace of her, research, and by extension, her presence in royal life. Most telling was the treatment of her private study in her Wiltshire home. According to household staff who witnessed the operation, the room was systematically dismantled. Floorboards were removed, wall panels were opened, ceiling fixtures were examined for hidden compartments. The thoroughness suggested extreme concern about what might be concealed there. Yet despite this exhaustive search, key documents apparently remained unaccounted for. The most sensitive materials, what one source called the monarchy's extinction level event, were nowhere to be found, triggering alarm among those managing the containment effort. There was serious concern she had created a dead man's switch, explained a former intelligence officer with knowledge of the case. Insurance files distributed to trusted allies, programmed to become public under certain conditions. This fear drove the next phase, identifying and neutralizing potential accomplices. Friends who had been close to Laura suddenly received unexpected job opportunities abroad. Associates found their visa applications mysteriously expedited. The pattern revealed a coordinated effort to distance anyone who might have served as her confidant. Particularly concerning to royal officials was Laura's long-standing friendship with an investigative journalist known for exposing government scandals. This individual abruptly announced an extended sabbatical in New Zealand shortly after Laura's removal, raising questions about whether they had been pressured into silence or were positioning themselves beyond immediate reach of British authorities. Digital traces of Laura began disappearing as well. Archives of events where she had appeared alongside royal family members were edited. Her minimal social media presence vanished overnight. Even photographs in which she appeared peripherally at royal functions were removed from official platforms and replaced with carefully cropped versions excluding her. The goal was to gradually minimize public awareness of her existence, noted a social media expert who tracked the changes. Not an erasure so obvious it would raise questions, but a subtle dimming of her presence in royal history. The family fractures. Behind palace walls, Laura's sentence reportedly created the most severe family crisis since Harry and Meghan's departure. Queen Camilla, torn between maternal instinct and institutional duty, was described by insiders as shattered but silenced. According to sources close to the royal household, she was informed of the action against her daughter only hours before it occurred, presented not as a request for permission, but as an operational necessity already set in motion. Camilla was given the appearance of consultation, said one palace source. In reality, she was simply being prepared to accept a decision made at levels even she couldn't challenge. King Charles, meanwhile, allegedly took a firmer position supporting the action. Sources suggest he viewed Laura's activities not merely as a security concern, but as a personal betrayal, particularly regarding documents relating to Diana and the monarchy's response following her death. This difference in perspective has reportedly created a painful distance between the royal couple. The king understands the institutional necessity, explained a longtime royal advisor. But watching his wife grieve the effective loss of her daughter while being unable to offer genuine comfort has created a strain in their relationship that wasn't there before. The most volatile reaction has reportedly come from Laura's brother, Tom Parker Bowles. Unlike his more private sister, Tom has maintained a public profile as a food writer and critic while remaining connected to royal circles. According to multiple sources, he vocally opposed the action against Laura, even threatening to speak publicly about her treatment. a prospect that sent shockwaves through palace officials already managing a precarious situation. Tom had to be managed differently, revealed one source. His public profile made coercion impossible, so influence was applied through professional channels instead. Suddenly, new opportunities appeared. Publishing deals materialized. The message was clear. Cooperation would be rewarded. Resistance would carry costs. Prince William, now fully embedded in the institutional machinery of monarchy, has reportedly supported the action against his stepsister, viewing it as regrettable but necessary for the monarchy's stability. According to palace insiders, he was among those briefed on specific contents of the seized documents and recognized their potential to fundamentally damage the institution he will someday lead. Most intriguingly, Prince Harry, long removed from royal operations in his California life, has allegedly made discreet inquiries about Laura's situation through intermediaries. Sources suggest he recognized parallels between her treatment and his own experiences challenging royal protocols, with these inquiries being met with diplomatic deflection from official channels. For Queen Camilla, the situation has created an impossible position. Sources describe a woman caught between institutional obligation and maternal anguish, permitted no direct communication with her daughter since the sentencing. All information comes through official briefings provided by the same security apparatus that engineered Laura's removal. In public, she maintains composure, noted one household staff member. In private, the weight is visible. She's begun questioning the path that led her into royal life, wondering if the personal cost has become too great.